Can we bring Festival Lead to the moon? So that's the question that I recently am asking myself. After I noticed that Festival Lead did pretty well in the recent Indonesian Master Ball League, achieving first place. And as I watched the live stream, they actually did defeat two Dragapults in both in the semi-final and as well as in the finals. So it doesn't seem that it was such a fraud. And the big upgrade to Festival League is actually including the Gladion's Final Battle, which is a new card that was just released with Pitch Black. And the rest of the build remains pretty stock standard Festival Lead. Personally, a little bit of background for myself. I am a pretty new Pokemon TCG player. I'm new to the game. I just started in December last year, so now it's about July. So I've been playing the game for about 8 months. I have achieved Master League in the last 2 seasons of Pokemon TCG Live. So I do know my way around the game a little bit, and this is the list that I have settled for now. If we're looking at the list which inspired what I'm playing now, is this one. If you go to Pokestats, you look at major event data, you go to Indonesia Master Ball League, you can see that first place is Farayawan Hasim, who actually ran his Festival League and he got champion. But Festival League wasn't a total fraud, because if you look at third place was also another Festival League. And if you look at down the list, you will see some one prizes to Canon decks, and you will see another Festival League player in 10th place. Any other Festival Leads? Another Festival League in 16th place, another at 18th place. Anything else? 28th place, and so on. So you can see that within the top 30, there are about 4 or 5 Festival League decks, which means that this deck is actually not that weak at all. It actually did pretty well in this Indonesian Basketball League, which actually had attendance of 1,300 players. So it's quite a significant amount, and the players were all playing a variety of decks. Like you can see Grimmsnarl, Dragapults, Festival Leads, Mega Starmie, Frostlass, Slow Kings, Hydrapos, Enzorock EX, Stevens Metagross, and Ghostvale was there as well. Ghostvale meaning the hide and sneak decks, the Delmice, the Sinistchas, Mega Excadrill, because this is actually in the Pitch Black format as well, because Indonesia actually had the Pitch Black format earlier than us in the West, so-called us who are playing English decks. So this is the deck which I settled with. So everything is pretty similar to his list, but I did take out some stuff. I add in a Rillaboom just in case I run into any like Cornerstone Ogapons online. I wanted to have this Rillaboom as a counter. And other than that, I didn't adjust much. I think I still maintain 2 Gladions, and I cut the stadium. Actually, I cut 1 Forest of Vitality, and maintained 3 Festival Grounds. And basically that's it. I think I just included the Rillaboom. Not much has changed. So we'll look at how my games go. So in this format, what I'll do is I created a brand new account, and from this brand new account, I will wait. Am I blocking it? Yeah, so I'm kind of blocking it. Let me reduce it. So maybe put my face here, right? So it's a brand new account, and I created a brand new account to try and test whether I can reach Master League with this Festival League build. And if I can reach Master League, like maybe how far can I go in the limited time that I can play. So let's take a look at my videos. So these are from my previous recordings. So first one was from when I was 10 ELO. So my ELO was 10. Just check that if I didn't block anything significant. Yep. So my ELO was around 10. Because I actually did play one game in ranked, which I was playing Enzorock EX, the one of the default lists that they had in Pokemon TCG Live. Well, because I didn't have enough points to exchange the cards for my Festival League deck back then, because it's a brand new account. So I had to play at least one game to get some points, basically. Then now I got enough points. I have my deck ready. So let's see through. And maybe I'll use my Epic Pen. So the interesting thing was that if you look at my games here, Just in the second game of my ladder. So my first game was playing Enzorok, but in the second game I already versus a player who was about close to Master League. So for your information, if you look at the rank ladder, if I click on like ranked and I click on, let me not cue that. So if this is how the rank ladder does, new accounts will start in Nest League, where you start from 0 elo all the way to 30 elo points, and then from there you go into Quick League, which has a Pikachu, which I'm now at 36, and all the way if you hit 550 from Ultra League and you hit 550 points, you will be promoted to Master League. Once you hit Master League, your elo points somehow they use a different system for it where you get reset to 1500 and you can drop below 1005 like 1004, 1003, and you can go way beyond 1005 all the way to like 2000s. I think the 2000s are where all the highest ranked players usually will end up, which is all the pro players. But anywhere from I think 1008 to 2000, you're usually meeting the pro players. That means those players who are like very active in the Europe ladder, I mean the Europe competitive scene and so on. So 1000 and above is usually where you meet all the best players in the world. Okay, so I'm already like meeting a player that's 447, which is like already close to Master League, which is 550 points. Because I think I did pretty well. I don't know how Pokemon TCG Live actually ranks Elo. Like, definitely he thinks, Pokemon TCG Live thinks I'm a better player because it's letting me face against players which are close to Master League. Maybe it goes by whether I defeat good players in the first place. That means maybe the first player that I defeated of my first ladder game was about 400 elo points perhaps, and then it thinks that, oh, so I can beat a player that's 400 elo points, so I'm gonna match you against a player that's higher than 400 elo points. Okay, so we get a pretty good start, decent start. So we have Applin and Grookey. So I wanted to get a Tawaki ASAP, and because we already have our Diplin, so we're gonna get Festival Lead, and I can turn to Boom Boom Groove to search for a card. But my hand is pretty good because I even have Secret Box at the start. But I'm debating between whether to get it. So he scoop up Cyclone, his Kyurem into his hand, and I think the opponent did a misplay here. Maybe his starting hand was really terrible. He definitely wanted to get his Kyurem back into his deck, or at least into his hand, so he can use Academy at night. Yeah, I don't know what his thought process, but definitely he wanted to get his Kyurem back from the board. He didn't want the Kyurem to be in the board. He wanted either to be in his hand or in his deck. So he did a scoop up Cyclone into a Lilies, which shuffle his Kyurem back into his deck. So he's playing Slow King, so he wants to use a Kyurem attack to kill 3 of my Pokemon. So he uses Run Errands. But he is putting a 3 price liability in play. Again, a misplay from my opponent here. I mean, even though he's near to Master League, but I still see a lot of misplays because he is playing Academy of Night way too early. So he's not ready to attack, right? So you can see his Slow King was just played this turn. This is turn 1, by the way. So it's turn 1. He's not ready to attack. He doesn't have a Slow King build up. So by playing his Academy and Light so early, it's just asking to be bumped. Because festivally we run 3 stadiums, right? So with 3 stadiums and with Boom Boom Groove in play, like we just need a Lilies or maybe some Boom Boom Grooves, and we can easily get another stadium to bump this. He needs the Academy and Night for his attack, which is to draw the Kyurem from his deck, or at least to put his Kyurem from his hand into his deck so that he can draw it to use the Kyurem attack for his Slow Kick. So misplays here from my opponent. He's playing his Academy at Night too early. So he puts Boomerang Energy there, getting ready to use his Sick Inspiration attack and Slow King. Okay. So instantly I top deck Festival Grounds, which is not difficult because it's a bit lucky on my part. But with Lilies getting another 8 cards, and I have Boom Boom Groove, it's quite likely I'm gonna be able to get Festival Grounds anyway if I needed to. But I instantly bumped away his Stadium, so put his Stadium out of play, so he's already down by 1 Stadium. Okay, I chose to Lily away my cards, get fresh 8 cards, so that I can get a better board setup. With Festival Lead, it's all about setting the bench. You want the bench to be as set up as possible. So you can see I play my Buddy Puffin, make sure I get a full bench so I can get a maximum 100 damage per hit. Then I have access to Boom Boom Groove, of course. And I will need 1 energy. In this way, I get another Tawaki for the next turn. I believe I get an energy card here. 6 energy in my deck. Maybe I could cut the energy down if I need to. Maybe down to 5 energy. Then we're gonna hit for 200 damage. Versus 100 on hit. So 200. So 200 damage on his Mega Kangaskhan. And then the play will be to boss up the Kangaskhan later to knock it out with 1 hit. For 3 prizes. So now he gets his Slowking, but he doesn't have Academy at Night anymore. Notice Academy at Night was bumped. So if he had kept his Academy at Night in hand, he would have had a better chance. So there's really a lot of liabilities on his board. This is 3 prize, this is 2 prize, this is 2 prize. And I could go for a 3-1-2 kind of play whereby I knock out a 3 prizer, a 1 prizer as in the Slowking, and then I will aim to knock out either of these 2 prizes for my full 6 prizes here. So that's my prize mapping for this match. Maybe speed up a little bit. But he doesn't have the Academy at Night. So even if he uses Seek Inspiration, yeah, then he discards another Academy at Night. So he's just gambling. So he discarded 2 Academy at Nights. He doesn't have Cypher Maniac. The game is basically won by me. Because my board is set up, I have all 5. My board is way set up. I have 2 Diplins. Then I don't know what I do now. Did I go for Gladions? Yeah, I think I decided to activate my Gladion. So I use Secret Box, gonna empty away 3 of my cards. Discard 3 of my cards. I think I take a Brave Bangle if I'm not wrong. Yep. So with Secret Box I can get 2 items, 1 supporter. But I'm gonna play Gladion this turn, so I don't want to get any other supporter. And I don't need the Stadium, because I already have Stadium in play. So I think I just, get a Brave Bangle. Attach. Then play Gladions, and I Boom Boom Groove for another supporter. So my Gladions has already been played. So I get a supporter for next turn, which is a Lilies. So I do 180 damage here. And he makes another misplay here. So he saw 180 on that first hit, right? Yeah, I saw... Wait. So if we go back a bit earlier... So this is 180. The 180 here is due to my full bench and Gladions. So this is 80 damage and this is 100 damage. But he forgot that I had Brave Bangle. So the Brave Bangle will add 30 damage if it's an EX Pokemon. And you can see that my opponent makes the mistake of promoting his EX Pokemon next to tank the hit. Because he thinks that I'll do 180 to his EX and he thinks that he can tank the hit. So he puts his Latias forward. And now I will do 210. Because I have 100 from here, from the bench. 80 damage from Gladions. And then I have another 30 damage from Brave Bangle. It's kind of hard to see. Let me use red. So 100 from the bench. 80 from Gladions. And 30 from the Brave Bangle. So that's 210. So I do 210 on 1 hit, and then I 1 hit knock out his Latias for a 3-price turn. So there's a 3-price turn, and then basically the game is lost. He basically loses it because I just need to knock out his get a boss, knock out his Mega Kangaskhan for the last 3 prizes. Think we'll just fast forward a bit because I don't think he can do anything, backtrack badges and all that. He has another backup Latia, so he does a free retreat. Maybe he use Night Stretcher, I forgot. But he used boss. Then maybe he has a backup Latia, so he boss on my Shaman. So all I had to do was just retreat my Shaman. So he's gambling on the fact that my Shaman can't retreat. He wants to have my Shaman stuck in the active. That I just use bug catching set, and I'm lucky enough to get an energy, and then that's it. So I just attach the Shaman, retreat it, bring my Diplin out, and then Boom Boom Groove for a boss's order. Boss the Mega Kangaskhan, then knock it out for the last 3 prizes. Okay, so that was at 10 Elo. Then I gain 13 points, goes up to 23 Elo. So then we'll look at the next game. So at 23 Elo, we go up against Mega Venusaur. And you can see again, Pokemon TCG Live is pairing me at 23 Elo with another player from 400 Elo points because it knows that I'm a Smurf, or at least I'm beating players who are at 400 Elo, so it's pairing me up against players of similar skill level. Okay, we'll speed this up a little bit. Okay, 1.5. So let's fast forward a bit. So I get to go first. Grookey inactive, not the best start, and you can see that I don't have any other buddy poppins. I do have a bug catching set to set up my board, and I'm going first, so I can only use the bug catching set. So it's not the best start. I probably don't want to use my Ultra Ball because if I use my Ultra Ball, I have to discard precious resources such as a Stadium, maybe an Energy or Diplin, or even the Lilies, which I don't want to. Yep, so I attach an energy to the Grookey in preparation for if I get to retreat the Grookey, I will need more to burn 1 energy to retreat. Then I play bug catching set. I'm lucky enough to get an Applin, at least. So the Diplin is not that important, but the Applin was important. Then just end my turn. So opponent already has 2 Teomar Sogapons and okay, so Teal Dance for card draw. Dance pass. And he passes. Okay. So he wisely doesn't play a Stadium, unlike my opponent from the previous game, because that would be a free bump for us, right? Because we already have Festival Grounds in hand. But even if he doesn't see, I mean, obviously he doesn't see our hand, but the chances are quite high because most Festivity players will run about 4 Festival Grounds in their deck, at least 3 or 4. So it's quite a high chance that we are gonna bump his Stadium if he plays it early. So we are gonna retreat our Grookey first before we promote it to a Tawaki so that we can activate Boom Boom Groove. And you can see that I do get my Tawaki in hand, but we do not want to promote our Tawaki because take note the Tawaki has a retreat cost of 2 energy rather than 1 on the Grookey. So we do not want to promote the Tawaki first. So we want to retreat first, bring the Diplin out. So I attach to the Diplin. Promo Tawaki, place the stadium, and then I do a Lilies. And we have more bug catching sets. Here I'm debating what to get. I think I got a Goldin, yeah. So the reason I chose a Goldin was I was kind of prepared for, like, in the event I don't knock out this Tiamat Sogapon, which I do, because we have 80 damage here from 4 bench Pokemon, and the Brave Bangle adds 30, right? So that's 110 per hit, and we're gonna do 220 because we're gonna multiply our hits by 2 times. So we are gonna knock out this Tiamat Sogapon, but I was like kind of prepared in case he is able to knock out my Diplin with maybe another Tiamat or something else. I will need to have something that can trigger Festival Lead, so I will need at least a Goldin that I can bring to the active so that I can trigger Boom Boom Groove to get another Tawaki, and then from there maybe get a Lilies or something to fill out my hand better. So just using Boom Boom Groove, get the other Tawaki in advance, and burning a Pokepad along the way to thin out my deck. So first 2 prizes down. Okay, so we also have a secret box to get ready for Gladion as well, to discard some of our cards so that Gladion is the last card to be played. I think I made a misplay in the next turn, if I remember correctly. So he Teal Dances, sets up Forest of Vitality, which he got it from turn 1 with his Chorus and SD. So gets his Meganium line. So he just needs 1 more energy on his Tiamat to knock out my Diplin. Teal Dance though. I thought he should have Teal Dance the Pokemon in front. Like the Ogapon in front. So that he can knock me out. I think our opponent misplayed here. Because well, I think he already Teal Dance on this Ogapon. Oh, so that's a big misplay. So he could have knocked me out. So if he had manual attach 2 energy, since he had Meganium, right, he could actually knock out my Diplin. So at least put some pressure on me. I mean, I already have my Goldin set up as well, and then with 2 Tawakis, I could Boom Boom Groove for probably a Pokepad for Diplin. Then we attach an energy, then maybe another Buddy Buddy Puffin fill up the board. I would still be able to knock him out, but you have made it a little bit more difficult for me. So now I am gonna do, okay, I already top deck into another Diplin. So I believe I want to use a secret box for Gladions. So in this case, when I put, because I'm gonna put the stadium down, right? It was a mistake here because once I put the stadium down and I secret box, I have to discard 1, 2, 3 cards. So I'm gonna burn the Gladion, 1 Gladion. Fortunately, I have another Gladion in play. What I should have done, this is the following is a misplay, right? So what I should have done instead was that I should have used 1 Boom Boom Groove, because my Boom Groove is active, to take maybe something that I can discard, maybe like a Lilies, maybe a Boss's Order, or yeah, maybe some other card that's not as important, maybe like a Sea King, or maybe another Grookey or something that's not as important that I can discard for as folder to discard from my secret box. So you can see here, I even attached the energy. And now when I use secret box, I have to discard 1, 2, 3. So I have to discard precious resources. Yeah, so big misplay there from me. So I should Boom Boom Groove for some other folder to discard first. Yeah. So fortunately, I still had Gladion. I still had Festival Grounds, which that was my last Festival Ground. So it's a misplay from me there. And obviously, Buddy Buddy Poffin to fill up my board. So I play Buddy Poffin. Probably put another Applin, I think. Then use Festival Grounds. I'm gonna use Gladions. So I'm gonna do 210 damage on one hit. Probably get a Lily to fill out my hand. Or in this case, I got Boss's Order. I think I took the Boss's Order to chase for my last 2 prizes. What did I get here? Pokepad for my next Diplin, I believe. So I'm gonna do 210 on one hit. And then whichever he brings up will probably get knocked out. Yep, so he sacrifices his Absol, which does 360 actually, because it's 180 damage multiplied by 2. So there's another 3 price turn. So he's basically doomed because, yeah, he bumps it. And that was my last Festival Grounds. I have no more Festival Grounds. I think I checked my discard pile and I noticed I made a mistake. Yeah, so here, let's say I made a mistake. I discarded all 3 of my Festival rounds because I could have avoided this if I had used Boom Boom Groove earlier for my secret box to discard the 3 cards. So big mistake there from me. I mean, if it was a closer game, this would have cost me the game. And notice I also discarded another Gladion, so I couldn't like one-shot his Teal Masugapon because I don't have a Gladions for that. But since I'm only down to 1 prize, I just need to knock out any Pokemon that's 1 prize. And I think he makes a mistake. He puts a Bulbasaur in play, puts a Deluxe Bomb on Meganium, but doesn't matter. So he puts the Bulbasaur in play. So the Bulbasaur is 80 health. So with a full bench, or even with 4 Pokemon, I can one-shot his Bulbasaur, even without Festival Grounds. So that's a misplay from him. Yep, so I just promote my Diplin. Put a Shaman in play for a full bench, boss his Bulbasaur out, and then do 100 damage for the knockout. So so a lot of misplays at this level. Even at 400 elo, the players are still, well, I mean, even I myself, I'm making a lot of misplays as well. So now we hit 36 elo, and we'll see how our games go from here. Okay, so if you are like interested to see how far I can go with Festival Lead, stay tuned. So I'll try to make this into a series where I record all my ladder games on this brand new account with this Festival League deck, and we'll see how far we can go, whether we can bring Festival League to the moon or at least to Master League, and maybe however high elo we can go. I am planning to play Festival League in the next competitive season in Singapore, which is probably the Great Ball Leagues, which is a Great Ball League is kind of like our local, if you're comparing it with maybe America, it's more like the local league nights, which is what we call it in Singapore as our Great Ball League. So if you get top, I think 2 position in Great Ball League, or maybe even top 5, you will get ranking points, and those ranking points will contribute towards your top 8 standings, where top 8 will get to qualify to go for Worlds. So, and you kind of get a very cool promo card if you get, I think, 40 points or more for the entire season. So I'm probably going to play Festival Lead as my main deck for the upcoming Great Ball League season, which I think will start probably after Worlds. That means Worlds will be held in August. So probably in September is what I'm guessing the next Great Ball League will start. And yeah, so this will probably be my competitive deck moving forward. So I'll be trying to practice this deck as much as I can on this account, and we'll see how far we can go. Right. See you guys in the next one.